Morning guys, and welcome to 10 at 10. I've been asked by the team at Regional Business Connect to do a 10 at 10 today, and I'm going to take you through my answers to the top 10 questions and hopefully give you some insights into our journey and also small business. So for those who don't know me, my name's David Ross. And I'm a chartered accountant and business coach. And my two businesses are Direction Accounting and Supercoach Business Coaching. And those two businesses combine to work closely with small business to help them create, execute, and also achieve their plans, what they want to do. So as they can achieve an awesome business life as well as a personal life. We've been in business for around about 19 years. We actually started the accounting practice 3 weeks after September 11 happened. And over that time, over the last 19 years, we grew to 3 directors in the business. We ended up with 2 offices, 2 businesses, and 15 odd staff, and all of the chaos that brings with it. Then we made a conscious decision to separate the 2 businesses, the 2 offices, and I made the conscious decision to change tack and go back to a single director business and a much leaner team structure, which has helped us move into the future with both of our businesses. As far as marketing goes, our preference is probably to put a lot of focus on developing strong business relationships through organisations such as Regional Business Connect, such as local chambers. And in particular, we've been involved for many years with an organisation called BNI, which has allowed us to develop really personal relationships. And at the moment, whilst we have a Port Macquarie office, I also work in the Newcastle market as well. And BNI has been centre to being able to develop relationships in a new market for us. Outside of that, we tend to get better results through Facebook than LinkedIn. Just using those 2 as an example, I see those as 2 sort of separate pillars. And whilst LinkedIn's B2B, we find that LinkedIn for us is probably full of people who are trying to put an academic spin on things and try and outdo each other with "I'm smarter than you" style stuff. It's good for building relationships in the longer game, but certainly in terms of picking up work, for us, Facebook's been surprisingly great. So you really need to just test these, I think, in your own business and find out what works for you. Not necessarily what the gurus tell you will work for you. We're currently very focused on probably working on our messaging though, and the delivery of that messaging and making sure that really hits the mark with our prospects. We've kind of gone right back to square one in terms of who is it that we work with and how do we actually express ourselves to those clients. So that's very important from a marketing perspective. I've been asked what's been my biggest business disaster and how did we turn it around, and business disasters tend to get fairly personal to you. You tend to hold them very close and not let a lot of people know what's gone wrong. You only let people know what's right. So one of the biggest disasters for us was in our accounting business, and we had a rogue employee who was doing a lot of things that they shouldn't have been doing. They were doing work on the side, totally unbeknownst to us. They were supposedly very, very experienced. And we probably gave them a little bit too much rein. That's firmly my fault for doing that. And they ran roughshod over our tax division for almost 12 months, taking money on the side, whole heap of what we believe was probably fraudulent activity on their behalf, not ours. And we had to go into damage control. And not only did we have to go into damage control, but we underestimated the length of time that would affect our culture within our business, our other team members who saw this whole thing happening. So it was a real experience in how to delegate correctly, and how to have those little points to check in on where things are at with employees, no matter how experienced you feel that they may be. So that was really key. Some of our most important business tools, probably our most important, probably not a tool as such, but cloud software has basically changed our business world over the years. And things such as Xero, our online document management system, our business planning software is cloud-based. Things like Zoom and Skype, which we've been using for years now. And it's been a real advantage during COVID because we were totally across it, and we've seen a lot of people scrambling, trying to manage. Even other accounting businesses who weren't in the cloud have had to scramble to do the whole working from home thing. We were already there. We've been doing it for years, and that was a real advantage for us. So that's probably the most important tool. Xero in particular is the heart of our practice. It allows us to do a lot of things, and we were extremely an early adopter, probably about 10 years ago. So it's been good for us to have that experience, not just the sign on the door that comes with it. Our most prized business system is probably our signature method of working with clients. We work through a stepped method when we work with clients, and this framework it starts with what we call awareness, which is finding out where the business owner is at, where they want to go. It's pre-planning stuff. What are their priorities? We work them through the numbers. The numbers are critical, whether you're doing accounting or business coaching. We go through planning, improvement, so working on the things that they need to work on from their plan, those strategies. We then do accountability, which is firmly in the coaching space, and work on monthly, weekly sessions, coaching on a regular basis, and then looking at the impact that it's having on their life, as well as the impact that they want to make on a bigger scale as part of their business. So that's probably our most useful system in our business. It's the core of how we do things. My preference as to whether I prefer running a small or a large organisation. My preference to run an efficient organisation, whether that be large or small. And to do that, we've got to match our capacity to our prospective work, and we're probably looking in our midterm of probably being about 10 people. We're currently at 3, and that was conscious to be at that size. So I'd probably err on the side of running small. It's particularly at the moment being nimble enough to change things easily this environment is definitely a competitive advantage for us. In terms of work-life balance, how do I maintain that? It can be difficult at times to switch off, particularly in a service industry. And I also suffer from ideas syndrome, so I'm always thinking of something new that I want to get up and running. And as a business owner, you tend to always be thinking. So many years ago, I'd work weekends and long hours. I've tried to keep that down to standard business hours and just work that. But it doesn't mean that I'm not thinking of things outside of it. The biggest rule, I think, is never check email outside of hours, because typically 99% of us aren't running an emergency ward, and our clients are simply sending the email at 9 o'clock at night because that's their time frame, not ours. So try to cut that out, I think, is probably my biggest tip on work-life balance. Outside of that, I play in an Aussie rock covers band, and that gets me as far away from white-collar stuff as I can. And I find that that's really a good distraction, particularly pre-COVID, when we could actually play gigs in hot, sweaty pubs. It gets us right away from the day-to-day work. The important thing that I would think of when managing a team is probably giving them the support that they need, and then getting out of their way. Let them get on with the job, because most of your great team members have abilities far beyond what we think. And in terms of leadership, I think you've got to show confidence. And by confidence, the best example I can give there is one of the first business conferences I ever went to. Norman Schwarzkopf, the general from the Gulf War era, had a quote, and I remember it to this day: "When placed in command, take charge." And I think that helps inspire and motivate team members if you're a leader doing that. To sum up, I guess the most important piece of advice I've ever received in running a successful business. Many years ago, somebody told me, "Don't let perfect get in the way of better." And that doesn't mean do a shoddy job at things. It simply means we've all got this ability to overanalyze and overcraft things, and if we do that, things never get done, and things never get out to the people that they need to get out to. So don't let perfect get in the way of better would be my most important piece of advice that I've ever received in terms of running a business. So I hope this 10 in 10's been useful, giving some insights into us, as well as some insights into business in general, maybe some helpful tips. Thanks to Russell and Kerry for giving us the chance to share with you guys, and feel free to connect with us at Direction, as we love engaging with business owners like yourself and hearing your stories. So stay strong in business, guys, and thanks for your time.